Misha Fayant. You know, I'm the Connected Dots woman. I love to talk about insulin resistance and why, because it's related to almost every disease and disorder that we have today. And so many of us are suffering and we don't know why, and this is being missed. Doctors don't run blood work for it. It doesn't show up in your normal labs. You're getting sick. You're getting tired. Your doctor's like, I don't know what's wrong with you. You need to go lose weight. You need to do this. You need to do that. But you're like, I've tried everything and I can't lose weight. I just don't feel well. Can't you help me out, doc? And you get a resounding kick rocks. You know, I have one customer who's like, I was told I was just fat and lazy and that they weren't going to help me anymore. Wow. Wow. I know this man. He's not fat and lazy. He just had a hormonal disorder. And at the root, insulin resistance is a hormonal disorder. Hang out for a minute because I'm going to talk about how I got my health back. 2 years ago, I had a walker, a cane, disability plates on my car. I couldn't go up and down stairs. My health was failing. My blood pressure was out of control. I've lost 50 pounds. I've gained my life back. Now at 59, I feel younger than I did when I was 50. And it's all due to addressing what's wrong with our food industry today and why we're getting sick. So at the root of it is a food industry who is giving us food that doesn't nourish our bodies in the way it's supposed to, because they're spending all their time and money making food so that it tastes better for you, so you'll want to eat more of it, so you stay less satiated and full, so you just go keep buying more and more food. And then what happens is they tell you, oh yeah, to keep your metabolism burning, you need to eat every 2 hours. Well, if this whole thing of insulin resistance is a metabolic disorder, and that's because there's too much of this hormone insulin in your system, why would you ever eat more that's creating more insulin in your system? Why would we do that? And why are doctors telling you that this is the best effort that you can make? It's untrue. You got to get over it. We've got to start taking back control of our health. So the truth is that only about 12%, that number's higher now, but according to this slide and that study, 12% of American adults are actually metabolically healthy. The rest of us, the other 88%, well, we're having problems, right? So how do we address it? I'm going to go over that in the next half hour or so. I'm going to show you what I did to get all of those amazing results for myself and what other people are doing. I'll show you some success stories. So hang out. If you have questions, ask them, because look, the whole purpose of this is so that you guys don't have to struggle like I did. I lost 3 joints. I lost my gallbladder, just so many things. I know people who've lost their kidney function, people who are having liver problems. And what if you knew somebody or that was you and you could put a stop to it by addressing the root cause? And addressing the root cause is actually really simple and doesn't require a bunch of medications. Would you be up for that? Because I was, and I know that there's a number of you guys out here too that are. So look, why is this important? One of the ones that's near and dear to my heart, get it, my heart, is cardiovascular diseases. So I want to pause for a second here, you guys. Look, 95% of hypertension or high blood pressure is related to insulin resistance. And when we look at that number, long-term hypertension equates for more than 80% of cardiovascular diseases. Those are some pretty big dots on that map, right? That we should be connecting. So if you're suffering with high blood pressure, if you know someone is, they can't get it down. I was on 2 different medications, couldn't get my blood pressure down. Doctor was frustrated. I was afraid I was going to die in my sleep because my blood pressure was so high. Look, mine is now normal. 2 years ago, my blood pressure was 180 over 150 at some point during every day. The best we could get it on, and it's documented at the doctor's office, is 150 over 110 on dual therapy for that blood pressure. She was frustrated. I was terrified. We couldn't figure it out. I started this simple system that I'm going to go over in a few minutes. And lo and behold, that wasn't what I started it for. I started it for my diabetes and to hopefully lose some weight. But my blood pressure now is normal, 120 over 70 daily. And I'm not on any medications, haven't been on any medications for 2 years. None. The only medications in my house are some Tylenol for incidental pain and injuries and some Benadryl because I have allergies. I don't have other medications in my house. I just don't. I'm not a medication advocate. Don't like what they do to people. Don't like the side effects they cause. So hang out for a second. You guys, I'll switch it back around. There's a ticker on this other I'm on multiple platforms. You can go to mishafayant.com. That will help you get there. But I'm going to show you, well, I'll tell you right now. So all I did was 2 real food products that have been scientifically designed, and they're in something called the Prescriber's Digital Reference. That means that there's science and clinical studies behind it. It's real. It's not just like something farce. So a tea that I drink in the morning, and I'm going to go over why this tea, and then a pre-meal drink that I drink 10 minutes before I eat anything, whether I eat 1 meal a day or whether I have 3 meals a day or whether I have 2 meals and a snack or go out for hors d'oeuvres with people. I drink this every time before I eat, and that's it. I don't have to worry about having big plates of salad or lots of vegetables and all of that before I eat, because this does that. It's portable. It goes with me everywhere. It fits in my purse, my carry-on, everything. It goes in my pocket. It's $5 a day. So when we look at $5 a day, you guys, it's $5 a day. Jason, who I just saw hop on, we had a conversation about 1.5 years ago. We were talking about, so Jason actually is part of the reason I started doing this more than once a day, the tea, because if at $5 a day, about $1.60 a packet, it's giving me my health back. It's nourishing me, giving me nutrients, and giving me critical components in my body that I need for my mental health, for my physical health. And most of us are spending, I would on average say $12 to $20 a day. If you actually took time to sit down and look at that candy bar, that bag of chips, those multiple sodas, all of that you're having in a day, this costs less than a soda. And instead of damaging your teeth and all of that, this is giving you your health back. It's a no-brainer to me. Plus, because I do an intermittent fasting protocol and I'm not hungry, I save money on the food. But then we look at the fact that I was on 10 medications and I'm not on any of those anymore. So at a minimum of $10 a copay, that's $100 a month that I was spending on medications plus doctor's visits, blah, blah, blah. $5 a day. I'm going to go over all of that in a second. Hey, Paramjeet. So look, I was talking about blood pressure. You guys can get to there's a ticker on the bottom of this one. You can text me. You can go to my website. You can go to my link tree. On TikTok, you just tap on the link and it gets you there. On YouTube, Facebook, all the other lands out there in the world. Watch what the ticker says and go there. It's super easy. I should get my chat open here so I can see what you guys are saying. So look, that's the problem, right? That's pretty damning. How many people do you know that are suffering with heart problems, that are having issues, that you are worried about them? And yet, if your doctor told you, because we have a cardiologist who's recommending this to every single patient that comes through his door, if you could do this, 2 real food products, instead of all of those medications that are causing other problems, and it could help reverse their heart problems, would you do it? I had one young lady who was having heart disturbances for a long time, and her mama, bless her mama's heart, started on the system, and she was like, you know what, you talk about this all the time. I'm going to get my daughter to try it. She got her daughter to try it. Her daughter, a month after starting on the protocol, went to a pre-scheduled doctor's visit where they did a heart scan. And that mama called me back and was like, Misha, my daughter just had the first normal heart scan she's had in over 4 years. Over 4 years. And the only thing she did different was this system. Now, am I going to tell you this is going to cure heart disease and all that? But no. But I'm going to tell you that it has a 90-day money-back guarantee. It's real food. It's not damaging you. If you care about your health, you might want to give it a shot and see what it can do for you. Because I have story after story after story of people who have had amazing changes in their health by addressing their insulin resistance. Insulin resistance, I know some people are like, we talk way too much about it now, but we talk a lot about it. I'm talking about it because I lost my gallbladder. I lost 3 joints. Would I have had to have those lost if I had known that insulin resistance was causing the problems in the first place? I might not have. I might not have had to have those 3 major surgeries where they ripped out. I mean, like when they cut you open, they're like shoving your joints out and sawing them off. I wouldn't have had to go through all that trauma in my body if I had known about insulin resistance 20, 30 years ago. That's why I'm here talking about it, because I want to help other people. And I want to give it to you in a way that's sustainable and simple, that you can actually fit into your life. because it doesn't have to be injections. It doesn't have to be all of that. It doesn't have to be strict keto or veganism or any of that stuff. You guys, this is a real life. I want you to have a real life. I want you to do real things and just understand that our food is imperfect because it's been stripped of nutrients. And what we're doing is putting those back so your body can react more normally. So what is insulin resistance? You guys, man, maybe I had too many teas today, huh? What do y'all think? Tea gives me energy. Did I have too many today? Because I'm kind of feeling like, woohoo! That's what I feel like. All right. So here it is. Insulin resistance happens when we're continually having this call for insulin in our body as a result of the amount of food that we're eating that's turning into sugar basically in our bloodstream too quickly. When our food turns into sugar, which is our source of energy, but there's too much of it, we get this hormone insulin out. Insulin is carrying that sugar as energy to every single cell in the body. But when there's too much of it, our bodies start to see that insulin like the nosy neighbor who's knocking on your door all the time, who's trying to bring you stuff just to kind of come in and see what's going on, but you really don't need them and you really don't need to spend your time. That's how your cells are. They're like, I'm not opening that door for you anymore. I'm not letting you in. You've been knocking on my door way too much this week. So that's insulin resistance. Now you have cells that aren't getting enough energy and aren't growing. And guess what? Brain cells are susceptible to insulin too. That's why anxiety, depression, brain fog, Alzheimer's, worsened symptoms with Parkinson's and autism. Yeah, we got to nourish the brain, and the brain isn't getting nourished because it's shut down from insulin, that magic hormone that's carrying energy around, just like everything else. But then we have HOA Karen, yeah. But then we have cells who are like, ooh, I'm greedy. I'll take up all that. I'll take up all that energy. Come on over here, insulin. Come on over here and do your job. So what happens with those things, the two I like to talk about the most are skin cells called keratinocytes. Your skin will take that up. It creates this excess pockets of skin with those keratinocytes that are like exploding everywhere. And guess what that is? Skin tags on your underarms, in your groin, around your neck, even showing up on your eyelids. That's excess insulin in your system. And if you get the insulin level under control, those skin tags go away. They did for me and hundreds of others. And you don't have to have them cut off, rubber banded off, lasered off, none of that. Because when you do those things, you're not addressing the root cause and they're just going to come back. So why do that? Why not address the root cause, nourish your body from the inside out? I don't talk about gut health enough, but we got to talk about that too. So that's insulin resistance. One of the other places that it has hyper focuses with this energy delivery is in the interior wall of your blood vessels, and that wall is called the endothelium. Now those cells are taking up too much of this insulin, and guess what? They thicken up. So now you have the size of a water hose that should be the size of a fire hose. Now you're trying to take this volume that should be going through a fire hose and you're pushing it through the size of a water hose. Blood pressure goes up. There's a number of other things. I believe that next week I'll be talking about hypertension again. So look for those videos because there's 5 or 6 ways insulin resistance causes this hypertension, high blood pressure. And it's crucial, to me, it's crucial to know that so you guys can take this serious and get your health back. All right. I talk too much. Okay. So here's the thing. With insulin resistance, these are some of the things that are linked to it, right? So sarcopenia, fatty liver, dementia, Alzheimer's, heart disease, stroke, PCOS, high blood pressure, which I go on and on about, migraines, obesity, childhood obesity, childhood prediabetes, diabetes, non-alcoholic fatty liver, osteoarthritis, type 2 diabetes, erectile dysfunction, arthritis, all of that's linked. But here's a more complete list of what can happen as well. So you guys might want to, if you want to screenshot these, if you want me to go back a page, I can go back so you can screenshot that. But this one, you guys, I know it's hard to read because it's kind of tiny right now. But we have all these neuropsychiatric disorders. I've already touched on Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, autism, anxiety, depression, irritability, all of that. Then there's the gastrointestinal disorders. And I mean, there's diabetes and there's all these gut issues, IBS, Crohn's, all of that stuff. Endocrine disorders, your nephropathy, your kidneys are starting to get have problems. And then cancers, you guys, yes. I'm not saying that insulin resistance or that this product will save you from cancer. What I'm going to tell you is that insulin resistance is linked to cancer. My favorite scientist in the world, Dr. Ben Bikman, talked about that with us. Why we get sick. He wrote this book. Look, I know there's some science out there that says cancer does not thrive on sugar. Guess who funded the sugar industry funded that study. So why would we trust that? When scientists are saying that in an anaerobic state where they're not getting enough oxygen and there's way too much sugar, cancer cells can thrive. So what we're looking at is things like breast, ovarian, colon, ovarian I already said, but pancreas, liver, and guys, testicular cancer, this can all be linked to insulin resistance. So that's why I'm here shouting and yelling and waving my arms, because it's important. It's super important. Now, how do you tell if it's you? You can tell if it's you by these things. These are the top 5 ways you can tell. If you have hypertension, I've gone over that multiple times now. That's linked to insulin resistance. Those skin tags I just mentioned, that's another sign, right? And then there's this acanthosis nigricans. I say it different. You can say it either way, by the way. But you get these dark skin patches on your elbows, on your knees, in your groin, under your arms, around your neck. That's a sign of insulin resistance also. So my elbows were dark, patchy, and scaly all the way down to here. And I was listening to Rav talk today about how, he scrubbed his neck. I was the same way. I had loofahs, and I had pumice stones, and I had soaps, and I had coconut oil and shea butter and all this stuff to try and get that to go away. Well, it's not a skin condition per se. It's an insulin condition. Once I got my insulin under control, all of that went away, and it stayed away. For 2 years now, I haven't had that. That's one of the ways you can tell. If you see somebody with those, dark elbows, knees, hopefully you're not looking at their underarms unless you're in a personal situation. But, if you see those patches, you can almost bet that they're pre-diabetic, on their way to diabetic, or at least insulin resistance. So if you love them, maybe point them over here so they can start learning about it and take care of it before they lose their joints, their kidneys, their liver, their gallbladder, which I had to have mine taken out. That's what happens with long-term insulin resistance. Okay, so the other 2 things are PCOS and erectile dysfunction. I'm doing a series on PCOS this week, so go watch those videos. It's huge for girls and women, the younger women. It's impeding people from having families. It's painful. It's embarrassing. It kills their self-esteem, just like erectile dysfunction does for men. So those 2 things, Dr. Bikman likes to call them metabolic infertility, because it comes back to your metabolism and what's going wrong in the body. And if we fix that, then the fertility issues for most of these people can get better. Am I saying it's 100% magic bullet? Nope. But if you have the chance of fixing it with 2 real food products and a simple protocol that's not requiring you to change a whole lot in your life. Thank you, Claudia. Kind of on fire tonight. I don't know what happened. I got a little tired earlier. I got a little rest, and now I'm back. You guys, and I'm going to pause right there, Claudia, because since you're a first-time listener, I want you to understand why I talk about this all the time is this right here. Let's put this one down and this one up. So when we flip this around, what you guys need to know is this was me. This was me 2 years ago. Diabetic. My A1C was at 7.4. I was 55 pounds heavier. I had hypertension or high blood pressure, hyperlipidemia, sleep apnea, heartburn, chronic fatigue, chronic pain, arthritis, leg cramps, skin tags, skin discoloration, brain fog, depression, mental health issues, neuropathy, swelling. Like I was losing my eyesight. I had bleeding gums. It was insane. I felt like I was falling apart in my 50s. Like my life wasn't supposed to be like this. And this was me 5 months later. Okay. And all I did was 2 real food products that are putting back what's been stripped. While I'm here, I want to show you a couple of other people. When I talk about edema and neuropathy, those feet on top are in 2021 before I started the protocol. My feet were swollen. They were bruising. I knew I was headed towards diabetic foot sores if I didn't do something. That leads to some bone issues. And then I've seen some horrible stories, you guys. And I can tell you if you want, but it was devastating. When I worked in doctor's offices, I saw some of the most devastating things born of insulin resistance and diabetes. So a year later, after using the protocol consistently for a year, I was on a plane to Panama. And so long plane ride back. Obviously, I wore sandals that bruised my feet. But see, there's vascularity. The feet aren't swollen. The same monkey toe, so you know it's my same feet. But none of that. Now I can go up and down on airplanes, in and out of airports, and I don't have that painful feet, that swelling that's like sausages puffing out of my shoes. That doesn't happen. Yeah, yeah. Big Pharma was happy to have me as a customer. You guys, like, look, I worked in an endocrinologist office. I worked in hormone specialist. I worked in allergy. I worked in infectious disease. I worked in urgent care. Like, nobody was addressing this stuff. My own doctors couldn't tell me what was wrong. My own doctors kind of threw their hands up and said, Misha, after we did MRIs and CAT scans and all the stuff for all of the various things. And then we also did like 24-hour urine tests and blood tests and saliva tests, because they all show up differently. By the way, if you want a true picture of your hormones, do pay the money for a 24-hour urine. Those blood tests don't show you a true picture of your hormones. So off the topic, but here we go back. So yeah, and I mean, I had one doctor that I worked for, bless her heart. I didn't understand it at the time, but she wouldn't let a big pharma rep, she would not let pharmaceutical reps in her office. Absolutely, full stop, no, she wasn't having them in there. I didn't understand. Like, as a person working in her office as a medical assistant, doing all the stuff, I'm like, dude, they bring us free lunches. They do all this stuff for us. Why wouldn't you bring them in? Then I go to offices where I open up cabinets and it's just stocked with all of these medications. So what's the doctor going to do? They're going to be like, oh, easy peasy here. And you know what? Most of those big pharma reps knew more about what was going on than the doctor themselves, because they have two family members who were big pharma reps, by the way, and they had to do as much study as doctors almost to understand the drugs that they were peddling to the doctors. It's a big problem, right? So we have big food making us sick. Now you're going to get the conspiracy theorist out of me. Big food making us sick, big pharma taking us on after we're sick. Everybody profits because they're linked. You're so welcome, Cynthia. So you guys, I'm going to go back to the rest of this now. All right. So some other ways that you can tell if you're insulin resistant is if you have that bulging belly. If your belly's poking out like mine was, that's insulin resistance. If you have high triglycerides and a low HDL, that's insulin resistance. If you're retaining water easily, like those feet that you just saw, you're likely insulin resistant, because there's not just a vascularity problem, there's a lymphatic problem when you have insulin resistance. If you're constantly hungry, and especially after you eat, or if you're feeling like you're cold, or like I used to feel like somebody poured a cold bucket of water over me after I ate, that's insulin resistance. That's insulin resistance. And I don't have time in this show to go over what it is, but that's insulin resistance. So I'm going to peek around the corner. Oh yeah. Chronic fatigue is insulin resistance. Again, you're not getting nourishment to the brain. The brain cells are starting to become resistant to the insulin. They're not getting the glucose they need so that you can have normal brain function. And then fibromyalgia and all those body aches and pains. Now, there's some fibromyalgia that's born of nerve damage, but you know how many doctors I worked with that were like, fibromyalgia is a bullshit diagnosis because we're just giving it to them because we don't know what else to say. We can't pinpoint the cause. So fibromyalgia is the diagnosis we give them. What? So anyway, people with fibromyalgia have also noticed better health while doing the protocol because we're reducing that load of insulin in your body. We're giving your body a chance to have a fighting chance, and now you can feel healthy again. So all of this to say, look, the normal solutions that we have are all of these, right? Calorie counting. Your doctor tells you lose weight so you'll feel better. If you just were so lazy and laying on the couch eating donuts all day, you'd have better health, because I know you're just lazy and unmotivated, and that's why you're sick. And I know that's not most of you. I know that's not most of you because it wasn't me. So then you can do keto, intermittent fasting, diet pills, meal replacement. Like one of the offices I worked in, she did those HCG shots and kept people on a 500-calorie diet. Guess what happened? They downregulate their metabolism, and now they're going to have more problems with weight later on. What are we doing to people? Then there's all these other things. But look, So now you're overwhelmed and you don't know what to do, and you're all these different things out there. I get it. I tried most of that. But the real issue is that willpower is no longer enough. Our food is so defunct that even if we had all the willpower in the world, for some of us, it's just not going to work. Plus, when we look at the fact that the modern food environment is so broken, it's stripped of vitamins, nutrients, and all of that that would be keeping us healthy. Then we think about the work demands we have and the commutes some of us have. And then you got families going, "Mommy, Daddy, why aren't you home? I have a baseball game. I have a band concert. I just need you at home, Mom and Dad." But you're out there trying to do the thing to pay the bills, and you're just like so stressed. And you have time constraints. And then at the end of the day, look, willpower has a bank like everything else. And when you've used it up for the day, it's used up, and now you end up with decision fatigue, and you're like, screw it. I'm just going to grab something on the way home because I don't want to make another decision. I don't want to cook. I don't want to go look in the fridge and take a half an hour to fix that. I just want to go home and relax. And so this is what you're faced with, right? When you're grabbing something on the way home, this is what you're faced with. Like, there are more healthy choices out there now, but this is generally what we end up gravitating towards. And once a week ends up being twice in a week. Twice in a week ends up being 3 times in a week. And all of a sudden now, we not only have this system where the food is devoid of nutrients, we're getting those foods in that are making this all worse. And we're in this spiraling downward cycle that's just creating more disease and disorder. So it's easy, you guys. I'm going to get there in just a few minutes. All I did was 2 real food products to put back what's been stripped, to protect me from all that imperfect food. And it changed my life, and it's changing the lives of hundreds, if not thousands of others. So I want to cover this because this is important. So I get people on my page all the time that are like, well, if you just ate better, do the perimeter shopping. Don't buy anything boxed. Well, yeah, there's some efficacy to that, because if you look at almost all your boxed foods, even the ones that say healthy, are really high in sugars. They're not that high in fibers. They have some constituents in it. Maybe they have just a little more fiber than the next guy, so they can say high fiber. It's crazy what they do to our food and then sell it off to you as something healthy. So look, I want to show you what even our raw organic foods have ended up like, because this is important. It's not just go eat raw organic foods. We can do that. Yes, we can. But it doesn't always work for everybody. I want to fix this because this isn't showing up like I would like it to. All right, we're just going to deal with it today. So this is what our foods used to look like, you guys. When we look at this chart, and you guys can Google this, you can find a ton more examples out there. Carrots used to be a root, chewy, fibrous, bitter. Eventually we started cultivating it into something a little sweeter. We used it, I'm native, we used to use it in soups and all that for fiber and whatnot. Then we all of a sudden end up with these things. Carrots, they don't look anything like the root they used to be. They're pretty, they're plump, they're juicy. Yeah, they're crunchy, but they're not tough to chew, and they're pretty damn sweet. So they've upped the sugars in that, and they've lowered the fibers in it. Look at the watermelon. Watermelon didn't quite look like this when I was a kid, but much closer to that than what we have now. Some strands of fiber in there, a lot of seeds to slow us down. Like, we got to slow our roll with all this sugar converting foods. Now I affectionately call this sugar water in a shell, because that's basically what it is. They've taken out the fibers, they've taken out the seeds, they've taken out anything that nature put in there to slow you down from consuming all of that fructose. So that's a high glycemic food, by the way. It converts to sugar in your system really, really rapidly. Well, it can be, right? Real food can be too expensive and inconvenient, but not so much. It feels inconvenient and expensive, but I want to tell you that when you start to do better and feel better, you're going to gravitate towards the more natural, healthier foods anyway, because your body's just going to demand it. Because you're feeling better, and you start to understand when you eat that crappy food, how crappy your body feels. This is corn. It used to look more like a grain. This is what we have now. This is what happens to our grains. All of these outside layers, which have proteins, enzymes, fibers, all of that are stripped away so we can get to this starchy endosperm, right? Starch is a sugar, a form of sugar. It's going to spike your glucose. Okay. So yeah, you can have breads and cakes and stuff. Just limit them. Understand that when you're eating those starchy foods like white potatoes, you're spiking your insulin. So here's what you guys, I talk about these all the time. By the way, I have an ebook that's free for you guys. I don't charge for it. I just want to help you out. So these are the principles in that ebook. You get in fiber first before you eat, every time you eat, to slow down the delivery of those fats and sugars into your system. All right. Then you want to prioritize protein, and then you want to fill up with healthy fats. And I list what those proteins and fats are in the ebook and in the emails that come along with it to encourage you to stay on track. You want to control your carbs. We just talked about that. And by the way, you guys, there's 3 macros. Look, I didn't know this for years. I started powerlifting and somebody said, hey, Misha, what do your macros look like? I'm like, I don't know what a macro is. So, I mean, I'm going to tell you 3 macros in your food: protein, fats, carbohydrates. Fiber is a non-digestible carbohydrate. So if it's not a protein and it's not a fat, it is a carbohydrate, okay? So when I say limit carbohydrates, I want you to think about apples, oranges, watermelon, pineapple, corn, peas, bell peppers, all of that stuff. So now you're being told, oh, but get fiber in first, but then manage your carbs, right? I'm going to get there. We have a magic solution. I think it's magic anyway. It's not really, but I think it's magic. Okay, so this ebook that is available on my link tree, you guys, the links are all here. It's there, and I'll show you how to get it. Then I want you to watch the clock. We're just eating too much too often, and that's keeping our insulin levels way high. Because our insulin levels are way high, we're having these other issues happen to us. So we got to get the insulin down, 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 okay? Then I want you to move your body. So look, full stop, like full disclosure, I was a world champion athlete. I worked out 6 days a week, 3 hours a day. Then I got sick, and then I started trying to get better. And I've been really busy with a lot of things. Busy is a big word, right? But I haven't been getting to the gym and doing the workouts that I like to do, or getting out and doing my walks or my meditations or all of that. And I feel like crud. So you guys, I'm not perfect. That's my other favorite term right now, is I'm not perfect. Are you? Because most of us are not. We're human beings. Damn it, we're not perfect. Do the best you can, but move your body doesn't have to mean 6 days a week, 3 hours a day in the gym. It's, a half an hour to 40 minutes cumulative throughout the day. You don't have to do it all in one sitting. After you eat, walk for 10 minutes. Get up and dance. Stand up and dance around, jump around, do something. I don't care. Do some qigong, something while you're watching TV, instead of just laying down after you eat, because open muscles that are working, are open to taking up that glucose that you just put in your system. So instead of it going to your fat cells and everywhere else, your muscle cells are eating it up, and now you're staying more insulin sensitive. So again, those 6 simple principles. Get the ebook if you want it. Please, it's free. Fiber first, prioritize protein, fill with fat, control your carbs, watch the clock, move your body. Now, you can start to move the needle with your insulin resistance just by doing those things. But most of us are so food addicted and so sugar addicted and so insulin resistant. And there's so many ways that this creates this system that your body's craving sugar, that it's hard. It's just really hard. Remember I talked about willpower? So how do you do it? I mean, if you can do it with that, that's amazing. But what I've done is this. Now we're getting to the nuts and bolts, right? So I do those 2 real food products. I follow that time-based eating pattern, and it's reversed my diabetes and my hypertension, or my high blood pressure, in less than 2 years. I'm not on any medications. So yes, I can say reversed, because I'm not on medications and I don't have blood work that would say I'm diabetic. My A1C is 5.3. My fasting blood sugars are always under 100. My triglycerides are under 150. What do you want? No medications. So that's pretty clearly reversed. Now, if I stopped doing what I'm doing and went back to eating what I was eating and living like I was living, would I get diabetes again? Yeah. But let's think about that. If you put your hand in a fire and it gets burnt, you take it out, you go get it healed, and you're taking care of that hand, your hand's not burnt forever. But if you go walk up to a fire and stick your hand in it again, are you going to get burnt again? Yes. Yes, you are. So I want you guys to think about that, especially when people say, how long do I have to do this? Because look, if you're serious about your health, and if you're serious about taking care of your life for a lifetime, you have to understand we're a living, breathing organism that needs constant nutrition and protection, right? So this isn't a do it for 30 days and I'm done. You wouldn't go brush your teeth for 30 days and then be like, oh, my teeth are clean. I'm 40 years old. I'm 59 years old, but I don't ever have to brush my teeth again because I did it for a month. I don't ever have to take a shower again because I did it for a month. Nope, I'm eating every day. It means I got to protect myself from that imperfect food every day so I can have my health every day because I never want to go back where I was. Okay, so I'm on a soapbox tonight. What's up? All right, so this is what's happening, you guys. I want to figure out how to show this over here on I want to show this in a bigger graph. So let's do this. All right, so we're going to show this a little bit bigger for you guys. So this is what's happening, why we do intermittent fasting. Look, if you have your first meal around 6 p.m., you're going to have a balance or a pre-meal drink beforehand. I'm going to explain why. But that means after that meal is done, if you're not snacking, that's when your fasting window starts, right? So I want you to fast for about 16 hours after your last meal. Most of us do it at nighttime because then we sleep it off and we're not going, oh, I'm hungry, where's the food? But it takes about 8 hours for your insulin levels to drop, and it can take even longer if you've had high carbohydrate foods unmitigated. Right? So I've had days when I first started where it took 12 to 14 hours before my insulin levels dropped. How do I know my insulin levels dropped? Because that's when my ketones finally came out. A whole nother video, a whole nother story for another time. But here's the thing. Everything in your body is like yin yang, right? Light, dark, balance, checks and balances. So insulin is anabolic. It wants things to grow. That's where we're having a problem, right? Insulin is an amazing hormone, but in this instance, it's out of control. So we got to get it to sleep. We got to get it put to bed. And then our glucagon comes out. And glucagon likes to eat things up. So think of inflammation and cells that just need to generate and turn over and fat. When glucagon's out, all of that autophagy can start to happen. Okay. So your digestive system then resets. But look at that's like 12 hours after you last ate before your digestive system resets and you can start to switch to fat burning. For most of us, we wake up in the morning, we have a high sugar meal, pancakes, cereal, whatever. Good Lord. Breakfast cereals? You might as well just put donuts and cake in front of yourself and your kids. Don't do it. All right, so in the morning, instead of all of that, I have a Unimate. Now, with the Unimate, I'm trying to flip this around. With the Unimate, what happens is it doesn't break my fast. It supports my fast. It helps me with HGH and ketone levels. It has great components for your brain and your energy, but it also helps keep you feeling full longer. So now that food addicted, sugar addicted body isn't having such a struggle doing this little bit of intermittent fasting. And yes, it's healthy. Yes, we should all be doing it. So, I mean, unless you have some like really weird health disorder, but most of us should be doing intermittent fasting all the time because we're just eating too much. That's our problem. Imperfect food and eating too much. So who told you to eat so much, right? The food industry did. I remember in my 20s, they started, and that was like, what, 40 years ago? Almost 40 years ago? They started saying you need to eat every 2 hours to keep your metabolic fires burning. I bought in. I'm like, okay, I want to stay healthy. I want to stay slim. I'm going to eat every 2 hours like they tell me to. And I started getting heavier and heavier and heavier, and I started having more and more problems. So no, you need to eat within about an 8-hour window if you're doing a 16-8 fast. 16-8 just means you're fasting for 16 hours, you're eating in an 8-hour window. In that morning time, about 12 hours after you ate, when you wake up, you're going to have the Unimate. That does all of these amazing things. Amazing things I'm going to go over in a second. Then when I do break my fast about noon, I will have one of these 10 minutes before I eat. And again, I'm about to go over why, but that's what that fasting looks like. Now, most of us want to do it so that we're fasting at night because, we have dinner with families, we're sleeping, and especially in the beginning, you're like, I don't even want to go all afternoon thinking about food, right? It's easier to get up in the morning and run out the door and do that and then go, oh, it's lunchtime, I'm hungry. But all right, so the products. Oh, you guys. All right, so this is that 16-8 principle. So the tea in the morning does not break your fast. It helps your fast and your fat burning in the morning. Before you eat, you're going to have that pre-meal drink. That's going to get you back into a little bit of a fat burning stage. Look, if you have breakthrough hunger between these meals, you can just have an extra tea. These are real food. You can have more than 1 and 2 in a day. You can have 2 and you can have 3 or 4 of these, whatever. It's food. Okay, so you use this to give you that satiety, helps keep your cravings at bay. Then you have the other one 10 minutes before your dinner time. Then you go back into your fasting phase, and it's actually really easy. I can't tell you how many people have said, Misha, there's no way I could ever do this. I am so food addicted. I'm so reliant on sugar. I got to have my soda. I got to have my candy bar. I got to have my whatever. They try it. I've actually had people call me day one and be like, what is in this? It's 1 o'clock and I'm not hungry yet. How does this happen? Well, it happens because you're allowing your body to do what it's supposed to do in the first place and not being hijacked by the food industry. By the way, 83% of their budget goes to making food that's more delectable and desirable to you. Can I fault them for that? No, it's a good business, right? But it's not so good for you, because to make it more delectable and desirable and to make you want to eat more, now it doesn't fill you up. It doesn't keep you full. And so now you're eating more and you're craving more. And it's just this vicious cycle. All right. So how do the products work to help all of this cycle? Well, the tea that I'm going to talk about, one of the things I love with the tea, this is super important to me. I had a conversation with a lady today about chocolate. Not going to get into it right now, but I was shocked because I haven't looked into that. But, the slave labor in some of the food industries is real. We buy our tea leaves from farmers who own their own farms. They're handpicking it at the right time of ripeness so that you get the most efficacious leaves that you can get. They're not overripe, they're not underripe, and they're not machine harvested. So ethically, sustainably harvested. We're paying them well, so we're treating people well. Then we take it to a fire roasting process, because what that does is these components of the nutrients that we want to get to you can get released from the bulk of the plant, just like spinach. You guys eat spinach because you want iron, and raw spinach is great. I eat a lot of raw spinach, but you don't really get the iron absorption unless you cook it, because it has to be released from the plant and it changes it a little bit. So we take it through this fire roasting process, then we extract it, concentrate it, and then we take it to this process called HyperPure, which purifies it from pesticides. We get a lot of comments about that, pesticides and a number of those PAHs. So now you have an extract that's highly purified, concentrated, and extremely pure. And I'm going to show you right now that this tea has about 375 times more of the components in it than a regular bagged tea, which has the pesticides, which has less of all of the stuff in it. And by the way, I was shocked to learn recently that sometimes there's like botanicals. We all know there's botanicals that are similar to each other. Some of these guys are putting botanicals in warehouses, claiming they're like yerba mate or whatever else, but it's just a botanical that looks the same, may feel the same, but it doesn't have the same constituents. So that's really important to us too, that you're actually getting the product you pay for. But let's go over it. So with the tea, this is what's happening. This tea is giving you this feel great feeling all day long. You can enjoy it. You can have it anytime. I'm having one, finishing up one warm right now before I go to bed. It doesn't keep me awake anymore, because we're going to go over why, but it suppresses your hunger and cravings by using your stored fat for fuel. It doesn't have crashes. It's non-addictive. It boosts mood and mental and physical performance, improves your endurance and strength during exercise by up to 13%. Like if I had this tea when I was powerlifting and didn't, I didn't do a lot of pre-workouts because they're damaging. But if I had this pre, post, and intra workout is what I use it for now, it's nourishing my body. Yes, you can still have your coffee and tea both, as long as you're not adding things that are going to spike your insulin to that coffee. And I can go over that in a minute. But yeah, don't add a lot of artificial creamers or sweeteners. You can use stevia in your coffee, and that won't break your fast. Okay, so this is, and like I said, it's high quality. It's purified, it's free from contaminants and pesticides, but here's the gold of it. There are 3 components in this that they call adaptogens. Why are they adaptogens? Because they attach to the caffeine molecule that's in here naturally. They have a lot of factors, but when they attach to the caffeine molecule, it changes how it acts in your body. That's why you don't get that throw me up against the wall, drop me on the floor kind of energy. You get this natural like energy that peaks up when you start to peak it up. Chlorogenic acids is this main component that I love so much. It's one of the few things that can cross the blood-brain barrier. Now you're getting nutrients to your brain. You're getting this neuroprotective gene expression and antioxidant effect in the brain. It's promoting feelings of well-being. It supports healthy blood pressure and glucose levels, and it promotes weight loss. So it's helping you with weight loss. And it has 375 times of that chlorogenic acid than a regular herbal mate tea. So let's think about that. If you guys, like I hear people all the time, well, I'm just going to go get regular herbal mate. I'm going to get the fiber. They'll be like, I'm just going to go buy this fiber. Well, if you had to steep 375 bags of herbal mate tea to get what's in one packet of this, you're going to spend almost as much as this, or if not more than this packet costs you, but at the cost of getting all those pesticides and all of that in there as well. And then who wants to steep 375 bags of tea? Like, I'm not going to do it, nor am I going to drink that much liquid in a day. This is a powder. I pour it in my water. I drink it. It's right in here. That's it. So this goes with me anywhere I go. This, when I travel, in the airport, I take it in empty. I fill it up, pour this in. I'm good. I'm not worrying about finding hot water to steep it. All right. So chlorogenic acids are amazing, but then one of the other adaptogens is this theobromine. Theobromine is amazing as well. It's that mood boosting molecule that you find in the high quality chocolate. There's 3 times as much theobromine in this as the highest quality chocolate. It supports your healthy blood pressure and cholesterol levels, promotes a feeling of calmness, reduced mental fatigue, and improves your focus. So think of before meetings, before important tests, before any time when you have to be mentally spot on, you can drink the tea. I do. And then the last one in these adaptogens is called mate saponins. Now, they're a class of molecules that are specific to the herbal mate plant, and they support healthy triglyceride levels and the body's ability to burn fat. Now, in those mate saponins are some of these triterpenoid saponins, and they're suggested to have human health benefits, including lowering serum cholesterol and providing antioxidant and anti-cancer activity in your body. So, all right, you guys, let's be honest. Now that you know, and by the way, it tastes like a lemon iced tea. Now that you know, what do you want to put in your body? A soda or something that's doing all of that for you? Anti-cancer, antioxidant, neuroprotective gene expression, helping you burn fat, helping your mood, helping your mental clarity. Does soda or any of those other drinks, kombucha, all of that do that? No. Plus, I watched a thing on kombucha, and there's so much sugar added to that. It's actually compounding the problem. Another food that they say don't do. All right. They say, being the scientist I learned from. I'm not a scientist. I'm just a woman who ingests information and spits it back out for you guys. So you can have this drink really anytime. You can do some things like adding cinnamon to it. You can add stevia to it to change up the flavor. If you're not in your fasting part, you can add some vanilla protein to it. So like lemon cream pie, like it's amazing. You can add coconut oils or MCT oils to it. By the way, the MCT oils don't break your fast. They help you stay satiated, so you can do that in the mornings. Look, the second component of this system is called balance. It's hard to read this. You guys, all of this information is on my website. There's 4 patented blends in here. That's all these arrows. So I'm going to go over each one of those patented blends. If you want to see this up close, go to my website. It's all listed there under the products tab. But balance works by helping you reduce those blood glucose spikes. All right. So it's slowing down the delivery of those, so you don't have that high spike and then that crash, because that crash that's happening is why you're addicted to sugar, because your body's now out of energy because insulin offloaded it, because you told insulin you're just going to eat again, and it needs to stay out, and it needs to be a warrior, and it needs to do all of this job. Now it's done its job, and it's like, I need more. So now you're hungry and you're wanting more sugar. But balance helps stop that. So this is what your insulin levels look like on a normal day. Most of us, and let's be real, most of us are eating far more than 3 meals in a day. But you eat meals that are not wrapped in carbs, clothed in wrapped in fiber, clothed in fiber, protected by fiber. And this is what's happening. Your blood glucose goes up, and then your insulin goes up. And then you eat again, it happens again. And the higher your insulin level gets, the longer it takes for that to come back down. So now with the system, what we're doing is we're wrapping those foods up so that it slows them down. Calm down, honey. Calm down, carbohydrate. We don't want you to, we're not going to let you out today. You're a little papoose. We're going to wrap you up and hold you tight. So then it keeps your blood sugars down. It keeps your insulin levels from going so high. Now they can come down and get into a more normal mode quicker. So the 4 components of this product, why it's so much different from that Benefiber Metamucil stuff, those are like one type of fiber. You guys need a variety of fibers to do all this work. 1 fiber, 2 fibers does not do it, not clinically proven to do it. This has been clinically proven, the entire product, not just a piece of it, so that we can label it that way. All right, so Biosphere Fiber. Yes, it's a made-up name because it's a blend of fibers. You're not going to find this blend of fibers naturally in any food anywhere. So I'm saying that because I saw a video on that today, and it cracks me up. All right, so Biosphere Fiber is a unique blend that includes 5 different sources of fiber, and those fibers help support your cholesterol levels, and they slow the conversion of those high glycemic carbohydrates in your system. Basically, what that's saying is this. When you eat foods that convert to blood sugar too quickly, this fiber, this packet, is taking this high glycemic, turns into glucose really quickly in your system and makes it more like a medium glycemic, slows down how quickly that hits your system, and that's what's making the difference. The two together are synergistic, but that's what's making the difference in this instance. Now, there's 7 different, hey Missy, there's 7 different soluble and insoluble fibers in this fiber matrix. So there's a 7X technology, and that's a specialized blend of plant-derived polysaccharides known as viscous fibers. Viscous fibers, by the way, make up this soluble fiber, one that soaks up water and expands in your gut, because what's in Benefiber doesn't do that. It's like a broom, and a pretty harsh damn broom at that, but it's not meant to regulate your blood sugars. So those viscous fibers form a thick gel when they're mixed with water, and as they move through the digestive tract, they start to protect you from the things you just did to your body with the food you shoved in your face. And I'm right there with you. I'm not, no judgment, because I've done it too. So that gel-like substance helps slow the emptying of the stomach, which then results in prolonged satiety or you staying full longer. For me, I have an acidic stomach, and so one of the gold with the fiber for me is I don't have Tums and stuff, and I don't really need them anymore because I just pay attention to what I'm eating and what's hurting me and what's not. But on the off chance that I get something that hurt, like I went out to eat and I got foods fried in crappy oils, I just have a balance. It soothes my stomach down. It calms it down from all of that acid that's going on. And yeah, Missy takes it before a stress meeting. So this just helps you guys with IBS, chronic Crohn's, diverticulitis. Yes, we've had a number of people with diverticulitis using it. I'm saying it helps with that because I'm saying it's helped people. There's no science that says it specifically does that. I've just seen that with a number of people, including myself. I had uncontrolled IBS when I started the system. Now it's better maintained. And if you don't know uncontrolled IBS, we can have that talk later, but it's devastating to an adult. It's devastating. All right. So not only do we have those 7 different fibers in there, we have this cardio matrix, which is made up of plant substances that are there to support the body's cholesterol absorption process. So it can help limit the absorption of that cholesterol in the digestive process. So it's making it more heart healthy. So those phytosterols, plant substances, chrysanthemum has a lot of studies showing that it does just that. And in those are a lot of prebiotics helping you build your own natural probiotics. Now, to top it all off, instead of just going like, oh, that's good enough, our scientists were like, well, wait a minute, no, because in this whole digestive metabolic process, there are specific vitamins and minerals that can really help people. So they've added those in so that it's really giving you this 1-2 punch for your digestion and the conversion of fuel and your metabolism. So it's now Very, very complete. And it's not like anything else you're going to get. Yes, Missy, it helps with cravings. Absolutely helps with cravings. So that's the two products that we use. Okay. So how we do things at Unicity is this. And I love this company. It's the first company that I would ever agree to work with like this. But we have, I'm going to go back. We have scientific studies with a number of people. So Informed Choice, NSF, Colomas, those are all places that say there's nothing in these that are going to pop you on a drug test. If you were a drug tested athlete like I was, that's super important. I had to be careful about anything I put in my mouth. I had to be very careful because I didn't want to be popped on a drug test and not be able to compete at Worlds or lose my medals I won. That was important to me. But in certain places of the world, these people are getting tested for their jobs, mandatory, a lot. And so they're very, very conscientious about this too. So you guys, then we have studies with the American Heart Association, the American Diabetes Association, the Cleveland Clinic, the people who created the glycemic index, we have studies there. The Columbia University, or I'm sorry, Cleveland Clinic is the heart clinic. University of Sydney is the glycemic index. We have studies with even more than this. Yeah. Okay. Wait. Oh man. All right. So Cindy, Brenda, who made that comment? Brenda. All right. So look. All right. I drive a little Hyundai SUV. Love it. It's loaded. It's an expensive bicycle, right? Because the bicycle is going to get you there. But is it going to do the same job as my beautiful little SUV? No, it's not. So you can go buy Metamucil, by the way, which costs you about $30 a pop, and you're not going to get the results that you're getting with this because it's more than fiber and it's specific fibers that are in there. That's why there's only 3 grams of fiber in it, because it's the specific fibers that are necessary to do what I'm talking about. And it's on the PDR. We have the studies that say it actually does reduce your A1C, your blood glucose, and your triglycerides. So if you feel like that it's just expensive fiber, go try the other stuff and see how you do. Because I've had people be convinced by that by other people, and then, you know, within 3 months or so, they're coming back like, hey, Misha, can I get back on the system? Because I tried those things that those other guys were saying, and it didn't work. By the way, there was another company who tried to replicate what we're doing, and they said even if they could get anywhere close, which they didn't want to spend the time to do, they would have to charge $400 to $500 a month for the same product that we're charging you $5 a day for. So if that's your lens, honey, go do what you got to do. But the people who want to change their health, $5 a day is not expensive at all. Plus, I'm going to ask you, how many Starbucks a day do you buy? Sodas, candy bars, all of this stuff. Go check your refrigerator and your cupboards and check how much you're spending on all the stuff that's damaging your health, and then come back and tell me how expensive this is that's giving you your health back. No, it's 7 different types of fiber. So it's not just the fiber. Like Metamucil and Benefiber are like guar gum and psyllium husk. Those are great for cleaning your gut out. But hey, we have a fiber that's called Life Fiber that's like more like a broom. I'm doing it now because I'm doing a cleanse. It has 27 different types of fiber in it. And it only still costs about the same as Metamucil. What? You guys understand that fiber is not just fiber is not just fiber. That's like telling me that all fruit are the same. That a banana is the same as a watermelon, is the same as a peach, as a pear, as a blueberry, as a strawberry, as a peach. Like, no, they're not all the same. So every fiber has a specific action in your body, and it takes specific fibers to do what we're doing. Those other fibers don't have that. That's why they're cheaper. Okay, we're giving you quality products that are actually guaranteed to work, that are actually scientifically, clinically proven to work, and that's why there's the cost to it. Okay. Feel Great Missy says she drinks 2 teas because it's better energy than anything she's found, and she's ADHD. Me too. And so Missy, with drinking the tea, because I have a number of people who have ADHD and they're drinking the tea, have you noticed that your ADHD is better managed? Because mine feels more under control. Unless my life is super chaotic, My ADHD is well under control. I can focus better. You know, like we're ADHD, right? We hyper focus sometimes and then we can't focus other times. Well, those other times I'm far more focused now than I was before. Stephanie Koch, one of my partners, also has ADHD. One of the benefits for her was that it got her ADHD under control. You guys think she's hyper now? You should have known her when I've known her for years. Like that woman was like I don't know, a Tasmanian devil in a paper bag in a small room. It was insane to be around her. She's so much better under control, and she knows I say that stuff. She wouldn't take offense to it. She'd be laughing at me. All right. So you guys, I'm almost done here. So a couple of tips that I want to give you guys, whether you're doing the system or not, please, please, please don't drink your carbs, eat them. You've got to clothe your carbs in fiber. You've got to protect yourself from that carb spike. So when you're juicing, when you're removing all of those things, you're removing the fibers that are protecting you. And by the way, do you know that when you're doing smoothies, you're breaking the fibers up so they're not as effective? So you can do a whole food smoothie or a bowl or whatever. You're still destroying the fibers from being able to do the work that they're supposed to do. Don't drink fruit juice. I don't have it in my house anymore. And I was one who had fruit juice in my house over soda pop because I thought I was doing the healthy thing for my kids. I get it. I've been there. But don't do it. It's damaging your health. It's damaging your kids' health. Like I see kids at the airport and they're having a fruit bowl or they're having whatever. And the parents, I get it. The parents think they're doing the best thing for their child. And yet I look and I start seeing signs of prediabetes on these children and it breaks my heart. How do you go up in the airport and tell somebody you're damaging your kids' health because you're giving them fruit and juice all the time? All right. So we have our own manufacturing facilities. They're all over the world. So it doesn't matter. I know most of my clients are here in the US. I have them in Australia, New Zealand, the South Pacific, in the European countries, all over the place. I just saw a map of where my customers are, and it's insane, you guys. But we have manufacturing and delivery facilities all over the world that we own and operate, so we have control before you get it. It's in nobody's hands but ours. Then you get these guarantees, the 90-day money back guarantee. You get the best price guarantee. I'm paying the same as you're paying, guaranteed. And then you get the triple testing guarantee. You guys, I didn't understand this fully at first. And I want to explain it to you if this is important to you. Look, we not only test at the end product to make sure that it has everything that it's supposed to be in there, but we test each product separately before it even gets put together to make sure that it's the right botanical, that it has the right efficacy, that all the stuff is right before it ever gets mixed together, and it gets tested again and again. So that when you get this product, like how many bags, teas are you going to go buy that have that testing that tell you that you're going to get that amount of chlorogenic acids? You buy those teas, you don't even know if you're getting one time the chlorogenic acid is this. So there's that. I hope that answered the fiber question. If not, let me know. So look, one last thing, and I have not done as good a job talking about this, and I want to address it because I have a number of people starting to ask. You can save money on it. Look, you can just refer people out, tell them about the success you've had, how great it is, just like Missy is doing with you guys. You just refer it to your friends. You get a $10 credit. And so the next time you order, it's $10 off. I have people who are getting probably 2/3 of their product paid for every month because they cared enough about their family and friends to share it with them because it works so well for them. Now, if you want to, you can do this too. We're building a team of people who are committed to changing lives around the world. We're building a really big, strong team. I've built out a number of resources for my team. And if you're interested in that part and doing what I do, you don't have to do it the way I do it. But if you want to change your financial life and you want to become part of the team and help share this with others because you're getting results and you are already excited and sharing, let me know. It's up to you. I'm never going to pressure anybody, but the opportunity's there. So if you want to be part of the team, you just got to let me know and we'll have that conversation when it's right for you. Look, if you want to make an extra $500 to pay for a vacation, if you want to make an extra $1,000, if you want to replace your income like I did, you can do any of that. It depends on how much you want to do. And it's maybe an hour to 2 hours a day. It's more for me because I'm crazy, but you don't have to do it that way. So, all right, you guys. Now, are there any other questions before I hop off? I've been on here for a little over an hour. and I'm trying to do a little bit better self-care. So I got to go hop in my sauna bed and do my meditation and get ready for bed so I can get my cortisol levels under control because I want to be healthy. I keep telling my grandson, he's 6, that I'm going to be around to 150. So yeah. And I don't want to be him pushing me around in a wheelchair at 150. I want to be chasing him around the park still. So I got to take care of my health. All right, you guys, I will come back in the morning. I know that I've been absent for a while. There was a lot going on. I'm going to start to try. Does 8 o'clock sound like a good time for y'all? Because I will start trying to, I'm thinking that 8 o'clock is a good time for me to hop on. That may adjust depending on what time is actually good for people. And then I'll go on live sometime randomly. Also, we didn't go over all of this. Man, you guys. So I want to do another thing here. If you're on TikTok, go to my profile right here. Right under the red lights, click my link. It's going to take you to my Linktree page. This is what my Linktree looks like. By the way, I updated that today. Let's see what it looks like now. Woohoo! There's my sunflower. All right. So the order link is right here. The link to my website, if you want to take time, read about the products, look at the science, do all of that, go there. That ebook I talked about earlier, you can get it there. And then there's my other channels. But what I came here for is this Facebook group. If you want to have more one-on-one communication with me, ask questions, whatnot, go to the group, join it, and let's get you rolling in there. But to order the product, this top one, go to order Feel Great right there. It should say referred by Michelle Fayant on the top. It should say buy now. Just click that buy now button, and here's what's going to happen. It's going to take you to the products. Woo! I lost myself. You guys, I think I need to get under control. All right, so you get 30 of the tea, you get 60 of the balance. My new flavor of balance is on the way. I don't really care. The balance, I chug it down so quick. Honestly, I don't care. But we have it now in orange, which is the original flavor, or pink lemonade. The pink lemonade has no artificial colors or sweeteners in it, sweetened with stevia. It's not really tart. It just kind of has a gentle pink lemonade flavor. The orange has more like an orange Julius flavor. The tea you can get either in the lemon or the lemon ginger. Now, the lemon ginger is a ginger extract, so it has a nice little hit of ginger. I love it. That's what's in my bottle now, especially hot in the wintertime. That lemon ginger is amazing. By the way, ginger has some great benefits for your metabolism and vascularity as well. So you get those choices, you guys. Then you're just going to choose. You can put it on one-time purchase, but look, I really recommend that you do the monthly subscription because you're going to save $5 off the product when you do the monthly subscription. You don't have to pay shipping. That's already $15 savings. And then you can cancel it literally at any time. And then you get this free hand mixer the first month with the product. Okay, so disclosure here. Everybody who was on subscription for the Feel Great system got some free pink lemonade this month as a reward for being a valued customer. So there's more than, yes, 8 EST, Missy. Thanks for that, because yeah, I didn't clarify, did I? So subscription has a lot of benefits, and you guys, you can change the dates. I have helped people change dates because maybe their pay is a little funky. Maybe they need product sooner. Maybe they have a little extra. They weren't as consistent as they need to put it off for a few days, whatever. We help you with all of that. It's easy peasy. You're not looking for some weird link. You say, hey, Misha, how do I do this? I either send you where you need to go or I help you fix it. So there's all of that, you guys. I appreciate you trusting me. I appreciate those of you who have ordered from me. I really am on a mission to help people. This is important to me because I was so sick, and I know Missy was sick too. I need to get Missy on one day. I just was like, I don't know. I feel like a Tasmanian devil in my body tonight. But yeah, 59 years old, and I have that energy. How does that happen in the system? Okay, so you guys, just, and know that when you purchase from me, you get to like Missy said, you get to text me, you get to ask me questions. I'm there to help you. I will be sending you texts and emails and all of that, reaching out to you, supporting you. And look, If it's like, Misha, this doesn't seem to be working, I'm not losing weight, I'll answer those things. If it's like, Misha, this is working great, I just lost 40 pounds, woohoo, I want to hear that too. Okay, but I'm here for you all, and I will be back in the morning. I'm going to go hop in that sauna bed, see if we can loosen up some of this chest stuff, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks for spending your time with me, and have a great night. By the way, ask me if you're on the other platforms, and you watch this on replay, just ask your questions. I'll get back to them. Okay, Cynthia over on, you know what? Cynthia, you must know that I can't walk away from a question like that, right? So I'm going to be on for just a few more seconds, because Cynthia over here on Facebook says she's really inflamed. She has Hashimoto's. She's pre-diabetic, and she has hypertension. Honey, that sounds just like me. Let's put up my picture again, because I want you to see that list again. And I'll show it to you guys too. Let's just turn this around. I am not gonna leave anybody when they have a question like that. So this was me before, Cynthia. You look at that list. Hashimoto's was on there, hypothyroid, all of it, right? I had a history of PCOS, all of that stuff. I had so much inflammation in my body. That's why my feet looked like this. But it wasn't just there. I remember about 2 months in, I sat down. I was in shorts because it was summertime. I looked down at my knees, and I realized I could see my kneecaps. That may sound like something silly to some of you, but for those of us who are dealing with inflammation and joint problems, that was like Christmas time for me. Like, there were so many other good things happening in the first few months, and even for the first year and a half, I was just like a schoolgirl every day, it felt like. But my inflammation is down. My Hashimoto symptoms are well maintained. I'm no longer diabetic or pre-diabetic, and my hypertension or my high blood pressure is gone. No medications. So if you're interested in it, Cynthia, I'll give you another link over here. Just give me a second, that you can get to my link tree as well. So that's where you can find all the stuff, that landing page with all my information. Just click on that and go there, you guys. All right, so I hope I answered that question, Cynthia. I would love to talk to you. There's contact information in there. You can text me and say, hey, I want to talk more. You can order and know you're going to get support. Whatever you want to do, hon, let's get you feeling better, okay? All right, now I'm going to go night. Well, no, I'm not. I'm going to go meditate and sweat my little rear off. Okay, good night, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me, everybody.